serve with an open palm. And when you do this, you serve in a way where there's no expectations, there's no entitlement, just being of service. And being of service means also letting people in and out, coming in, coming out, ever evolving. And so we serve with an open palm and create a business and a brand with an open palm. We attract people who also are of service, and that reciprocity is there. Welcome to the Embodied Woman podcast. If you are new, welcome. If you are a regular, welcome back. I love you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to tune in. I love this community so much. I know I say it every time, but it's just so true. It is such a blessing to sit down on this couch, hit record, and just have a conversation with you. And how cool is it that we get to connect from around the world? If you have not shared where you're tuning in from, connected with me, I would love to do so. So send me a DM over on Instagram at Taylor Simpson. If you're watching the YouTube video of this, comment with where you're tuning in from. It's really cool to be able to see where our little light pillars are from around the world. I think about that we're just those of us who are just filled with so much light, the Holy Spirit, we're glowing, and to be able to know where these little pillars of light are, I think it's just so cool. Like, how cool is the internet? I know it's a double-edged sword, as is most things in life. So today's episode, I'm going to start by we're going to share a story. So pour a cup of tea, some cacao, some coffee, sit by your fire. We're going to have a little story time. But really, I'm going to share just from my journey, what it takes to build a business and a brand that is true to you and allows you to be able to walk out your God-given assignment in every beautiful season and era God has you walking through without losing your golden thread, meaning where you never have to do the hard pivot or totally make a new Instagram handle unless you want to. I just know a lot of women in this community, God is really evolving. And so I like to use the word evolution, reinvention instead of pivot. And so I just want to share kind of where I started with my entrepreneurship and beautiful things along the way that has allowed me to now 11, 12 years later, have just a continuously flourishing business no matter what season God has me in, where I've never lost touch of who I be. Yes, I have gone through many iterations of who I am, as I hope you as well. My goodness, if you're the same person that you were a year ago, 2 years ago, invitation to lean in. And I'm so grateful for all the different iterations that I've been through, and to be able to share that snippets of it publicly. I think a lot of people think I share my whole life publicly. I don't. It's maybe 2%, but that 2% is so authentic. It's so me. And then people who I get to meet in the flesh at my events, retreats, in person in Charleston, I get to just go deeper with. So I just want to share, I wrote down a few things, 5 things that I believe if you follow through on these, you will create a thriving brand, and a brand that gets to evolve as you evolve, and where you don't have to think you have to do a hard pivot, where it's just an evolution. So to take you back to June in 2014, so pretty much as I'm recording this, nearly 11 years ago, 11 years ago. Guys, I'm right now in the South in Charleston. We have the worst pollen right now in allergy season. Everything's blooming, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I feel like my eyes are watering 24/7 right now, and my brain's a little bit foggy because I'm filled with allergy stuff, not medication. I try not to take allergy medication, but pollen. So bear with me. I sneeze and just my mind goes blank. Anyone else so sensitive to everything blooming? No one? Great. Okay, take it back to June 2014, and I am hosting one of my boot camps. So my first business was tailored fitness. Get it? I also had a blog. I like my fashion tailored. Don't we love a pun. And the fact that God gave me a punny name, get it? It just worked so well. My first podcast was A Tailored Adventure to Happiness. So cheesy. It's so good because it works. Oh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that era, I did a lot of puns with my name. And so my first business was Tailored Fitness. I had a blog, and I'm so bummed because I had continuously renewed that website, and somehow it got just lost in the shuffle, I think 2 years ago, and didn't auto renew. And it's no longer there, but I had a blog where I was sharing different recipes. I was really into, obviously, fitness back then, into bodybuilding. So I was sharing really healthy recipes that don't look healthy. They're like naughty but clean. I came out with a cookbook, and a lot of my different blog posts for protein pancakes and apple cider vinegar, like the benefits of taking that shot in the morning, went viral on Pinterest. It was wild, back in like beginning of Pinterest days. And so I was just creating recipes and sharing them and recording workout videos, putting that on my Instagram back in the day, and just pouring what was lighting me up online. And that was growing my community on my blog. And from Pinterest, I was being fed into that. And then on my Instagram, I like my fitness tailored was my Instagram handle, and just growing that community. And eventually that community grew. People wanted to meet in person. And so I'm like, okay, I've never really held an event or a gathering. Growing up, I look back, those things we did as a little girl that kind of foreshadowed what we would be doing when we're older. That's a whole different conversation. I got a lot of that. But I used to hold summer camps for kids. I would charge, you guys, I don't know, 10 in our neighborhood. I would hold like summer camp, and I would have like art class and snacks. Are you guys surprised right now? No? Great. I now run a university. Snacks and activities. I charged, like a quarter for the day. I'm sure these parents were like, this is really affordable childcare. And so I would do that. So I kind of like knew how to gather people at the age of 10. And so when people wanted to get together and to meet each other, it's like, oh, I can totally host boot camps. All right. So I'm someone who loves a detail. I always have since I've been a child. Even my summer camps, like the details were there. They'd come in, they'd sign in, like they'd get a little name tag. So I have always been that detail. Every little details matter. And so I'm like, okay, if I'm going to host this boot camp, let me figure this out. Let me do it in a way that feels fun and good to me. And that feels, I didn't use the term back then, on brand. I feel like that's way before the word on brand. I feel like I'm like one of the forefront runners of what it means to be on brand 11, 12 years later. And so let me think of how I put this together. So I made flyers. I still have them. I kept them. I had flyers that I wrote up, like the date, the location, like a photo of a location, a photo of me, my Instagram handle, and then just wrote out the website. This is before QR code days. Wrote out the website, and we took that everywhere. So I took it to Panera and Starbucks and in my gym, and I asked if I could put it on their community boards. So I put my boot camp flyer on all these different boards in the community, and then I also turned that flyer into a online flyer. So I still have screenshots of those. It's like a little photo of me, like my workout outfit, just making a fun pose. It's like, I like my fitness tailored boot camp. And the caption just, says the details and the dates and the hyperlink. Because I think this is even before we had link and bio on Instagram. Or maybe we did. We probably did, but it wasn't definitely not Linktree vibes. And so I promoted that way. And then I reached out to, I think a friend connected me. Because I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But, I didn't have a budget. It was how much can I give and do an exchange without having to spend a bunch of money, because I was just kind of getting started out. And so I got connected somehow, I don't remember, to someone who had a friend who was a DJ on like a local channel. And I asked if they would be open to do an exchange. and I can give them a shout out on social media. And so I had a DJ. He was like, yep, I'm in. So I had a DJ available. At that time, I was sponsored, and protein sponsor, Slap Nutrition. What up, back in the day. And so they sponsored, like, by sharing a bunch of freebies and stuff for the gift bag. And they sent a huge like signage. And so I had a signage, and they had a table and protein shakes. And then there was someone who followed me who was a chocolatier. So she came, she's like, I want to be involved. So I just asked people who wanted to be involved. I just asked, I was like, who wants to be involved? I'm hosting this boot camp here on this beautiful field. So someone who followed me came, and she set up a table and gave away her like samples of her chocolates. I had a few other brands and local businesses that were like, I'd love to be involved. So before I know it, I probably had 4 or 5 different local brands or people who were drove in and had the little booths, part of my plan. And so I was like, okay, let me put my gift bags together. So I bought pink paper, gift bags, and I put the protein powder in there, and some other companies gifted a bunch of things. Oh yeah, a local juice company, so they donated a bunch of juice samples. Shout out South Block, my dear friend Amir, who runs South Block. It's now like a massively successful chain. So proud of him. And so they had a booth there giving away juices. And then I had other goodies in the bag. I printed off, again, before QR codes existed, I printed off upsell. So I put like a photo of me working out with my custom, 8-week fitness nutrition program under that mindset program with a link and a link. So just a piece of paper, a flyer in the bag. So if people wanted to continue to work with me and hire me, they could. And then I still have them. I made bracelets for everyone. Shocker. We had a bracelet station at the Untamed Experience the past 2 years. And I bought the plastic beads, like shades of pink and white. And I hand-strung bracelets for everyone who came, put those in their gift bags. I had my pink outfit. Oh yeah, my buddy who's a photographer, I used to do fitness modeling. He came and did photography just for gifting, asked me to tag him in photos. So that was super fun, Michael. So the day of the event, we had so many women show up. It did not cost a thing. It was donation based. If you donated money, it would go to the local animal shelter. So it was just, come as you are and or donate if you want. So I didn't charge a thing. Hence being able to people to do an exchange to help out. And it was a blast. Oh my goodness. It was so much fun. People got to meet each other. We got to take photos together. I have so many photos from that day. It's like a Kairos moment in my life. And so that was really the start of doing boot camps. And then I did more and then more. They became a thing locally. And did quite a few of them, continue to always do donation based, I think, always. And so that was just a beautiful way to give back. And that then built my online business. That people came like, I want to work with you. Like, can I hire you for fitness training online? And that continued to build my online business. And eventually I was able to, kind of in the midst of this, I was working at my 9-to-5. And so I was able to quit my 9-to-5 because I was able to, I think at that point, probably double my income at my 9-to-5 that I went to school for, a career I'd be in for the rest of my life. And with that, went full-time, tailored fitness, and just continue to pour in what was true and authentic to me. And then over time, as fitness got bigger, I, started winning more in bodybuilding. I did probably, I have my trophies because my husband made me keep them. I'm like, I don't care. I'm such a I don't get, I'm not one that keeps trophies. I'm like, let's move forward. But I love him. And he's like, but our kids in the future, won't it be cool to show them about bodybuilding? So fun. So cool. I love him for this. And so I think I did probably, 10 bodybuilding shows, always getting, 4th place or up. And so just love that. Had so much fun doing that. Shared my experience online from that. Had sponsors for that. I never paid for a single bikini. These bikinis run a minimum of $1,000. So that was really fun, just to continuously be in my gifting and have different brands when I be a part of that. And so that turned into eventually mindset coaching and happiness, and eventually law of attraction and all the things that kind of ended up getting sucked into that world, but was here to help people and to grow. And 11, 12 years later, I now do what I do. And that's why I'm really good at at business coaching, I'm really good at helping people with their messaging and their brand. And then once we get their messaging and their brand locked in, we can build the funnels and the programs and optimize, etc. And or people come to me who are already making a lot of money, but they're going through a reinvention and they really need help derooting all the kind of old identities and step into this new one. And so, just that's why I'm really good at what I do, because I've walked this walk for 12 years now. And every single season just became so much more fruitful. Were there challenges and ups and downs? Absolutely. If an entrepreneur tells you it's always up, 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 they're full of it. There were so many challenges along the way. Maybe I'll do a podcast episode on some of my gnarliest business lessons. Stay tuned for that. Let me know if you want me to do that. Just pop, if you're watching this YouTube, pop in the comments of just like, yes to lessons learned episode, and I'll totally record that. I hope you are loving today's episode. I am coming in here to share with you a video that I recorded called The Clarity Code. It is 5 messaging fixes to unlock more clarity, confidence, and conversion in your business. So if you are struggling with your messaging, you feel like you are throwing spaghetti at a wall, you've updated your bio 5, 10, 15 times, you're overthinking your content, well, go ahead and head to abundancerewired.com/the_clarity_code, or you could just see the show notes below for the link. This video is around 13 minutes, power packed. You're going to walk away on fire, ignited, and feeling so much clearer on why your messaging hasn't been landing and what to do to make sure that it reaches the people who you are meant to serve. All right, let's get back to today's episode. And so I want to share now the 5 things that came to mind first. There's so many, but these are the 5 that jumped out to me first when I was writing on this episode, that these things that I've had in place for 12 years that have allowed me to, no matter how many times I've evolved and publicly evolved, there's always been a golden thread. There's always been this thing that just makes sense. And people, whether they resonate with the direction I'm going or not, like that doesn't matter, because in the end, every time you evolve and you are just authentic with that, it's absolutely going to have a lot of people leave because they don't resonate with where you're going. And that is perfect. That is exactly what you want, because that way means you're staying in your assignment, and therefore God will begin to send the people who are in alignment with where you're going. And this is the beautiful part of entrepreneurship, and especially being God-centered, Christ-centered entrepreneurs. And we want to make sure that everything and everyone around us is aligned with where we're going. And we don't want to have that incongruency or the lack of reciprocity there, which can, cause a bit of an issue. And so we encourage this as evolving entrepreneurs. So number 1 that came to mind, if you really want to create a thriving brand that nurtures your audience, that builds that trust, that connection, a brand that, people want to have you on their podcast, speaking at their events. And I'll even add too, over the years, when I've been featured in Forbes, I've been on different news stations. I've been on so many stages, speaking in front of thousands of people overall, leading, speaking in high-level masterminds. And so there's so many different things I can add to that, but I don't feel like it's necessary, just to give you the overview so you can see what I mean by I'm walking the walk of what I teach. I think that's really important nowadays, especially for me, when I wanted to learn from someone and either work with someone as a mentor. I want to see the fruit in their life and really hire someone who's walked the walk and had the results that I want to have, and that are honest and real and authentic. And so I always love to be that for all of you, so you can glean what you need to and leave, what doesn't resonate. So the first thing that came to mind is realize your unique gifts. What are your unique gifts that God gave you? Think back to when you were a little girl. What were those things? Like, I was hosting summer camp, and I was an entrepreneur. I think at like 6, I had my first little online business, and it was not a lemonade stand. I've always been silly and fun and really just real. I'm also really introverted. A lot of people think I'm an extrovert. I'm definitely not. I'm an introvert. I'm a confident introvert. And so I've always just been very observant And therefore, that's given me the gift of empathy and relatability and compassion. So what are your unique gifts? Is it being like the extroverted, like the hype woman? Is it deep wisdom? Is it presence? Is it seeing people? Like one of my gifts is seeing people. There's a, joke with people who come to my retreats and events, like, don't look Taylor in the eye because she'll see you. And then she'll call you forward. And that's just a gift that I have, which is why I'm able to help people with their messaging and their brand, because I can see them and then I can see what the assignment is that God's given them. And then we can put words to it and then we can build a brand around it. And it's something that I love witnessing women who, after working with me, doing an audit, being the university, a client, et cetera, any of my programs, once they get their messaging clear, they typically cry. They're emotionally moved because they feel so seen and that they've never had someone put into words what they've been thinking and the assignment God's given them. And so what a gift it is to be able to do that. So like, again, example, that's one of my unique gifts. What are your unique gifts? Another one of mine is gathering women, building community. So hence boot camp, summer camp as a little girl, events, retreats online. I love gathering women. I love building tables. I love connecting them together so they can become friends and they can go and flourish. That's another gift. So what are your different gifts that God has instilled in you that you maybe have not been giving enough credit to, that you've been kind of watering down or thinking, is this really a gift? Yes. So I want you to write down all the unique gifts that God has given you and start to ask yourself, which ones can I utilize in my business, in my leadership? Which ones have I set aside, fill in the blank? But how will people think? I don't know, whatever stories. And begin to get really honest with what gifts are ready to shine in this season of your life. The next one. What did God take you out of that you are now able to take people out of as well? Meaning, for me, God took me out of insecurities of how people think about me. I was bullied a lot growing up, starting at a very young age. I was too much, too this, too, I don't know, too skinny, too pretty, too ugly, too, I don't know, everything, right? All the things. I was like never fully included. And so that for me was really hurtful growing up. But then when God did a thing on me and continued to take me through more and more of these scenarios until I really got the lesson in the end, it's all about how God accepts me, not about how other people accept me. And therefore that need to seek approval for people pleasing, et cetera, began to really fade away. And are there times where I'll catch myself in those old patterns? Absolutely. But I've been rescued out of that by God. And that's why I love to build tables and connect women where they feel accepted and seen and loved and a part of the community. And so what has God taken you out of? Has he taken you out of, toxicity of a career that you've been in, out of shame, out of body shame? Has he taken you out of, heavy health crises? Has he taken you out of, overwhelm, people pleasing? What are those things that he's taking you out of that you can easily help people with, that typically begins to show you what your assignment is? Because when God takes us out of something, it's usually up to us then to help other people come out too, not to rescue them, not to save them, but to lead by example and provide tools and support to help them get out, just the way that God helped us as well, because God's using you to help them get out. And whenever we're used by God, we're able to really help people in such a more visceral, spiritual, emotional, tangible way. So keep in mind, what are the things that he got you out of? So I think back in fitness days, again, community, being bullied. Well, I created community. I created containers for women to connect with each other. I would even say like body shame. He got me out of that. So fitness, nutrition. I struggled with eating disorders. He got me out of that. So I was able to teach people how to count their macros and how to create a healthy relationship with food. And over time, I continue to do that. So if you just think about that, that will bring you a lot of clarity on what your thing is that God wants you to do for people. Third one. This is probably my favorite ones. Be so unapologetically you. Be so unapologetically you. That has been my brand since day one, before I even realized it's my brand. Back in my fashion days, my fashion blog, I'm still in my fashion days. My fashion vlog I had when I was working on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. So women were wearing pantsuits and, just boring black, gray, drab colors. Like there's no way I'm doing this. I love fashion since I was a little girl. It's my thing. I used to roll around a suitcase filled with outfit changes at a very young age in my home. And so, of course, I've got like my pink pencil skirt on with my polka dot blouse and bright colors and fun and mismatched prints and all professional, fitting that, but colorful and bright and unique. And so I started my fashion blog and that took off and people loved that. And had an Instagram account for that. And obviously over the years in fitness, my Instagram account really began to grow because of my workout outfits. I would go to the gym, take a selfie in my like neon sports bra, my fun, colored, crazy printed leggings and my neon shoes and my, head wrap band thing. Also kind of what grew my Instagram was my gym outfits. I was known for these crazy printed leggings. Remember those back in the day? It was like cool to have like, I don't know, I had like Egyptian ones and little mushroom covered ones and rainbows and unicorns and these knee socks. Anyone back from my back in the days? My OG. And so that was really fun to do that. And then over time, of course, everything I've done and who I be is unapologetically authentic. So much so that it is very triggering for people, but the people who really get me and really understand my heart, those lean in because they also have that within them. People who are unapologetically authentic see that within other people. And so that's just been such a gift over the years, where the people who get it. And I see that in them as well. And so most likely those of you watching this, listening to this are also people who are authentic or you want to be in a bolder way. And being unapologetically authentic doesn't mean being loud and bold and wearing crazy leggings. It's just what that means to you. Like, what has God created you to be? Is it silly? Is it quirky? Is it quiet? Is it wide? Is it observant? And just translate that through your brand and your messaging on how you show up, and people will feel that. People are repelled and not in a growth-oriented way by inauthenticity. Especially nowadays, it's really easy to sniff it out. And so just be you, be unapologetically you. Don't care what people think about you, what they say about you. Just be you, and you will attract the right people who get that and who want to run right alongside you. Fourth one, create something new in an industry and be the niche. So whatever industry you're in, whether it's fitness, health, stay-at-home moms, nutrition, mindset, business, you are the niche. And this is a whole different podcast episode. You are the niche. And so when you find an area in the industry you're in that hasn't been filled in a unique, authentic, unapologetically you way, fill it. Become the niche. I think about back in my fitness days, people weren't hosting boot camps where women were coming like in really fun workout outfits and going all out with DJs and booths and doing a give back and donation based. No one was doing that. And so I filled that need because all of that is true who I am. So see how these all blend together. And so what is that thing in your industry that no one's created yet? And you know that God's given you that assignment to create it. Well, create it and you'll become the niche and you'll begin to attract people who are like, that's exactly what I've been looking for. How did you know? This is what I needed. You say, I know, I got you. The fifth one, serve with an open palm. Serve with an open palm. And when you do this, you serve in a way where there's no expectations, there's no entitlement, just being of service. And being of service means also letting people in and out, coming in, coming out, ever evolving. And so we serve with an open palm and create a business and a brand with an open palm. We attract people who also are of service, and that reciprocity is there. I've shared this before on previous episodes. That has been a huge lesson for me over the years of I'm a giver, I'm an overgiver. It's a gift and a double-edged sword. And therefore, sometimes that reciprocity hasn't been there and I've been taken advantage of for how much I give. And so when I say open palm, doing that with boundaries, doing that also with just not being walked over, so to say. And so when you serve and you create your messaging, your branding and content with an open palm of whoever likes this, whoever shares this, whoever comments this, I trust it's going to land into people's lives who are meant to receive this. And when you do that, you will have this beautiful ebb and flow of people, of business that gives you life, and they receive life from it. And therefore that reciprocity is there. So these are the 5 things that just came to mind. Again, there's so many more tangible, tactical things, but these are the I believe, the foundational things that need to be in place in order to create a thriving brand that stands the test of time, no matter how you evolve and how you grow. And I would love to hear from you. Which one of these is the one that you really needed to hear? Whether you're watching this on YouTube, comment. If you're listening, come let me know on Instagram. I would love to hear what stood out to you. And if you know of someone in your life who you're like, oh, they need to hear this episode because they're creating a brand, or maybe they're stuck in their brand right now, their messaging feels watered down, share this episode with them, share it with a friend. Don't gatekeep, pay it forward. And I hope that this conversation, these stories have enlightened you, have inspired you, have given you some tangible things that you can begin to think on, apply, maybe some great questions to take to God, to journal on, and have clarity around. So as you continue to build your brand, it does so in a way that's true to who God's created you to be, and you can walk out your assignment accordingly. Can we go do something today? Can we go embody what it means to be radiating in joy? Can we make joy really cool? Yeah. And if you haven't yet, please take a few seconds to leave a review on iTunes. You can just go down, share what you love about the show. If you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. And I will talk to you on the next episode. Bye.